Just Fear. Short stories by Joseph Martin. The Crazy Devdas. Story number 1 from the collection.
Just Fear, YouTube edition. This ebook is licensed for your personal enjoyment only. This ebook may not be resold or given away to other people. If you would like to share this book with another person, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for respecting the hard work of this author. Dedicated to Dad, Mom, Cedric, Alan, Gopi. My grateful thanks to Clinton Azevedo, Colleen Azevedo, Jay Romani, Savio Fernandez, Sydney Lobo, Vicky Shetty, Nilesh Parab, Ajay Solanki, Manish Shetty, Everest Rodriguez, Kartik Pal, Henry Duarte, and Harriet Mendez. Dear readers, do not miss the end. The Crazy Devdas. Chapter 1, Beauty and the Beast. Page 1. I love Shilpa with my life. Desperately, I want to marry her. I have brought her to my farmhouse to explain this to her. Convince her of my love. Remind her of the times I had done things in her interest, just to prove I love her. Things she, too, does not know. Also, to confess some evil I have done. I have had women before, but with Shilpa it's different. Yet, she cannot understand this. She can really be hard-headed. All women can be hard-headed at times. Shilpa, my girlfriend, lies on the bed, unconscious from my hard-hitting slaps. I feel sorry, yet I had to do it. Her wrists and ankles are tied to the bedpost. The rope has caused red welts as it chafes against her white baby skin. Her mouth is gagged with duct tape, but I have pierced a couple of holes in the tape to ease her breathing. This is the least I can do to minimize her pain. Seeing her in this plight brings tears to my eyes. Page 2. I stand before her, admiring her innocent face, smoking marijuana and drinking vodka. I bend down and kiss her forehead, and then both her cheeks. They feel warm and smooth. Picking up a lipstick, I draw lips on the duct tape and kiss them. I cannot wait for her to revive. I blow marijuana smoke over her face to awake her, then realize it could put her into deeper sleep. Perhaps if I sprinkle a few drops of vodka on her face, she will wake up. I do it. There, that did the trick. She is stirring to consciousness. Her doe-like eyes are filled with fear as she catches sight of me. It pains me terribly to see her so. I reach out to touch and comfort her, but I can feel her cringe under my touch. Why is she behaving so insensitively? It is I who is the loser after falling in love with her. Why do some women behave so hard-hearted? I move closer, get on my knees, and smack her across her cheek. Chapter 1, Page 3. I feel her pain, but cannot help screaming in her face. Bitch, you have dashed all my hopes, destroyed my life, forced me to hurt you. I love you with all my life, my dear Shilpa. If only you realized how much I love you, all this would not have happened. Every time I proposed to you, you just had one answer. One bloody standard answer. You know, Gopi, that's not possible. Besides, I love another. That was even before you met that bastard you planned to marry. What is bloody wrong with me? Bloody hell. I am well educated. Hail from a rich and influential family, smart and fair. Damn it, I even belong to your community. Maybe I am a little on the shorter side and a wee bit scrawny. But I had promised you I would work out, tone up my physique. Even my personal trainer had advised me to give up this frequent use of marijuana and vodka. But the ache you gave me made it impossible. Once again, she is beginning to cry. Damn these types of women. I move a little further away from her and soften my tone. Maybe I can convince her to marry me. Chapter 1, Page 4. Love can be beautiful, but can be lethal, too. Along with love comes lust. That makes it lethal. It is impossible to separate the two. Everybody lusts, even God. If he did not, he would not create women. Now, is it wrong to lust? Shilpa, I confess I have an addiction towards women. I lust for them. I have never been with a whore, I swear. It is only those girls I pick up at the pub or the gym. I have been once or twice with a man, and it feels yuck. That being the time, I was completely stoned. After falling in love with you, it has been with nobody else. And it will never be, I promise. Her expression has not changed. I blow smoke in her face and move away. I feel like banging my head on a rock. I sip my vodka and think of what else to say. If I cannot convince her, I will have to kill her. I cannot bear the thought of sharing her with someone else. Within a fortnight, she is to marry, and it makes me crazy to think of the mehendi, or what is the traditional henna on her hands and feet. Chapter 1, page 5. Once again, I move near her and kneel on the floor to reach her level. Darling, let me tell you, the first time I saw you, I instantly fell in love with you. But I knew you were the highly conservative type. Getting you would be impossible, but I told myself, nothing is impossible for Gopi Prabhakar. I knew I could easily get close to you, and I did, sooner than you realized. It was our second-year BA. The date was July 20th. The rain was pouring hard, and despite your umbrella, you were drenching wet. Your pink salwar kameez was sticking to you like a second skin. I was in the canteen with my friends, watching you. I still remember your cherubic face. You had not even lost your baby fat. Those doe-like innocent eyes, cute nose and lips. Rainwater was streaming down your thick plaited hair. You looked just like a doll. I close my eyes and recollect the sight before continuing. And those wonderful earrings. Those huge, wonderful earrings, suspended like chandeliers from your ears. Later on, if you remember, you misplaced them during a picnic. We all searched but did not find them. You believed they were lost. But actually I had stolen them. Sometimes when no one is around, I wear them and strut about. They are practically worthless, but to me, they are priceless. How I treasure them. Chapter 2. The Joker's Doomsday. Page 6. Shilpa has now grown silent. The story has intrigued her. I better remind her of another before she cries. Now, I realize the root of the Arabian Nights. Some months later, after joining college, you told me you wanted a particular room in the hostel. The girl named Dolly, who occupied it, was not ready to sacrifice for you. Within a couple of days, you got the room. Remember? This time, her eyes flickered at me in fear. Good, she was listening. Then Dolly had an accident, hit and run, they told you. Such hit-and-run incidents are a common thing here. A student high on weed or coke can easily do it and get away. It's no big deal. But it was no accident, I engineered it. When I hit her bicycle with my car, I tell you, it was a sight. For over a few seconds, Dolly was airborne before hitting the rocky part on the side of the road. She had broken an arm, 2 ribs, and a leg in 2 places. It took her about 6 months to recover. Before I can end, she is beginning to cry. Chapter 2, page 7. What is with you? I scream at her. Are you daft or what? I tell you something to cheer you up, and you sob, sob, sob. Did you not enjoy the stay in that room? Did you spare a thought for the poor Dolly lying all bandaged up in the hospital like an Egyptian mummy? I simply hate insensitivity, sweetheart. She continues to weep. Maybe if I tell her something I really enjoyed, it will cheer her up, so I begin. I loved your enthusiasm when I told you I wanted you to meet Papa. You not only fixed my button, but also suggested what clothes I should wear. Almost wifey-like. You simply wowed me. Then you bowled me over with the respect you showed my father. The moment I introduced you to Papa, you instantly bent and touched his feet. A gesture reserved mainly for the in-laws, a blessing. Again, a wifey thing. It was my memorable moment. Papa has always pampered and supported me in everything I did. He knows everything about me. He was very much impressed with you. Yet, before leaving, he whispered, Gopi Beta, don't destroy your life and career after girls. They're just not meant for you. Chapter 2, page 9. I take another sip before continuing. What else? They arrested the dog with enough marijuana to stay in jail for a long, long time. And you know how just the law is. They are literally waiting for such scapegoats, such peasant boys. I heard his father could not do a thing for the pauper, and so he is serving at least a 4-year sentence. I wonder how he got 4 years. My friend had put only a year's worth of marijuana in his jola. Cloth bag? Oh, now I get it. The police put all the pending cases on your poor Romeo. What a bloody shame. Oh no. Once again her crying begins, but now audible sobs. It is almost like she is mourning for the dead. Shut up! Shut up! I scream. Crying is okay, but this sobbing, I can't bear it. I saved you from a lifetime of poverty, and this is what I get. You would have to work your arse out in the fields, cook on firewood, sleep with half the village men, and God knows what. With me, I will give you the best of life. Money, jewelry, luxury, any damn thing on the face of the earth. Chapter 3. The Crazy Devdas, The Confession, page 10. Her sobbing has grown silent, but her body is still being racked by it. Pity fills my heart. I love her after all. I bend and kiss her on the duct tape. She squirms in distaste, as if I am a leper. Furious, I smack her on her face. It draws blood. I immediately regret. I should have known her dislike for joint and vodka. It reminds me of the evening she had heard about poor Munthun's arrest. She came to me crying bitterly. I felt sorry for her, but that bastard, the poor peasant boy, deserved what he got. Imagine making my girl suck his wretched fingers. But that evening, she was inconsolable. There was nothing I could do. Just for a fleeting moment, I felt like telling her the truth. Maybe she would see the truth and cheer up. But then better sense prevailed, and I suggested we go to a pub. Should I confess and tell her what happened that night? Maybe my honesty will impress her. Darling, remember the night we went to the pub? At this, her eyes, wet with tears, turned to me. The fear had not left her eyes. What would I have to do to replace it with love? Chapter 3, page 11. But I continue, with a little persuasion from me. You were ready to come. I was elated. At last my dream girl was at my beckon. The others in my group were reluctant. They were ashamed to take you along because of your tacky clothes and bingy type. Non-turn-on like look. Nothing was going to deter me from taking you along. I saw this as our first date. I got you done up at the beauty parlor. Then I got you a designer dress. Nothing flashy, something modest. Your discomfort was clear, and you were ungainly. But to me, you were the most beautiful woman in the world. You were starry-eyed and apprehensive when you entered the pub. It was the first time you had been to such an extravagant place. After all, it was one of the most expensive pubs in the locality. Once we settled down, I showed you the butterfly tattoo on my arm. This same tattoo I got here. I pull up my sleeve to reveal the tattoo. Can you see it? I ask her. She stares at it and looks at me with the same fear-filled eyes. Chapter 3, page 12. Do you know what your comment was? I demand. Do you remember? For a moment, I lock my eyes in hers. The recollection only brings me anger. Or Baba, we were on a date? We were supposed to say nice things to each other, even if we didn't mean it. Didn't you lie to the peasant boy sometime, or the other? But no, you told me, Gopi, it does not suit you. Your arm is too skinny. My arm is too skinny. My arm is too skinny. I swore at that moment. I felt like auctioning you to the mini Badwas or those bloody pimps in the pub. But I had let it pass. I am too angry to speak another word. Gulping my vodka, I go for a refill. When I return, I have a nasty edge in my tone. Do you know what I did for revenge? It was one of the best things. I cherish it even now. Fear is even more intense in her eyes. She is attempting to say something. I kneel on the floor and move closer to her. Our faces are a few inches away from each other. Do you recall where you woke up the next morning? Remember, baby, remember? Yeah, that's right. In a hotel on a bed. And where was I? I was sitting innocently on a chair, reading the newspaper. Chapter 3, page 13. First, you thought you had been raped, but later you were sure it did not happen. From then on, to you, I was the good Samaritan who simply protected you. You were even grateful to me. But if you remember the night in the pub, you felt drowsy. You blamed it on all the smoke and noise around you. But you were wrong. I had your drink spiked. Even before you entered my car, you were completely stoned. I took you to the hotel, all the way you were babbling about that peasant boy. How you loved him, how you miss him, and all that shit. Even now, I can feel the anger bubbling in me, exactly the way it did that night. But I had to let her know. So I continue. I took you to a room. At first I thought I would make love to you. But after hearing about the peasant boy, I was furious. So I decided to teach you a lesson. Since you value your self-respect so much, I attacked it. I undressed you, took photographs with my mobile. They're on my laptop whenever I need to pleasure myself. Before I could end my sentence, she starts sobbing. What are you sobbing for? I yell, don't you ever have an urge to pleasure yourself? Haven't you ever pleasured yourself? The sobbing grows loud, though muffled. I cannot wait any longer. It's been 5 hours since she has been missing from home. Eventually the police are bound to come searching for her here. For the very last time, I'm going to ask her if she will marry me. Chapter 4, Spurned. Page 14. I take a hard pull of my joint and a deep swallow of vodka. Decision-making can be really tough. I walk up to Shilpa. Fear has replaced terror in her eyes. She has sensed something has changed. I climb into her bed. She tries to move away, but the binds prevent her. I am close enough and can feel her body heat. I feel aroused, but ignore it. I am not here for pleasures of the flesh, but for true love. Where will she find a lover who bears the soul like an open book? With a thudding heart, I propose to her. Shilpa, will you marry me? It doesn't take a moment. She answers with a headshake. No. Are you sure? I ask mildly. No use losing my cool. No. She shakes her head again. I arise calmly. As I had reckoned, some women can be hard-headed. There is no way of reasoning with them. If I can't have her, nobody shall. I go to my vodka, finish the drink neat. I make a firm decision. I walk up to her. Calmly, I begin to undress her. She tries to resist, but the ropes are strong enough. She now lies undressed on the bed. Her eyes are on me. For her benefit, I turn to her and begin to undress myself. If I can't have her, nobody shall. First, I strip off my shirt, then my trousers. Chapter 4, page 15. I am now standing in my bra and panties. I strap on my favorite dildo. I move close to her and whisper, I will first show you how a man makes love, and then a woman. You decide who is better. But before, I better take this off. I strip the duct tape, not too gently. Instantly, her pleading starts, please Gopi, please let me go. How many times I have told you our love is not possible. The two of us are ladies. You know, I am not lesbian. Who cares? I say, hot with passion, I shall convert you. Besides, lesbianism is legalized by the law too. I climb over, my dildo aimed at her. And then she does the unthinkable. She spits in my face and cries. This is my hate for you. It hits me on my face, hot and slimy. I try wiping the stuff, completely appalled. Before I wipe it off, she spits again. This is for taking my nude photographs. Again, it hits me squarely on my face. I am too stunned. Can a human fall to this level of depravity? I simply don't believe it. Before I can wipe the gooey stuff, she spits twice. This is for the girl, Dolly, whom you nearly killed. And my hero Munthun and smiles acidly. I am overcome with rage. How dare she? A low peasant Munthun. I rush to the drawer, get out my low-caliber pistol, and point it to her forehead. With clenched teeth and trembling grip. Only a bluff. She smiles back at me, a sardonic one that challenges me. I will marry him immediately, even while he serves his sentence. My supreme lover. I am infuriated. Bang. Chapter 5. Together at last. Page 16. A small hole appears on her forehead. Blood begins to trickle out. Slowly, the light in her eyes dims and fades off. Her breathing gets slower and slower. She does not struggle or squirm in pain. I gently close her eyes. She's dead. My Shilpa is dead. It then registers to me. I have killed her. Why did she make me do it? I scream loudly, why? 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 I rush to the vodka, finish it off, and begin to cry like a baby. I'm suddenly aware of the police siren somewhere down the road. They have come for me. I have lost count of time. It's nearly evening. For the last time I go to Shilpa. She is sleeping like a baby except for that ugly hole in her forehead. I bend down, kiss her on her forehead above the ugly hole. Then on both her cheeks. They now feel cool and smooth. Her lips are still curved with that sardonic smile, yet I kiss them. They feel dead. I feel desperately lonely and depressed. The siren sounds louder now. They are at my door. Goodbye, Shilpa. I whisper lovingly, keeping my eyes on her lifeless body. I put the pistol into my mouth. I can still imagine her in that rain-soaked salwar kameez, rainwater streaming down her thick plaited hair. Those huge earrings suspended like chandeliers. There's a ring on my door. They have come. Goodbye, my doll, I whisper once more. I hope you are mine in the next life. I push the gun further till the muzzle touches the roof of my mouth. The ringing gets incessant. Someone calls my name and orders me to open the door. They can go to hell. I am going after my doll. I pull the trigger.
Wait, don't go. The story is not over. There is still something left. क्योंकि स्टोरी अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त.
The crazy Devdas. Second possible climax. I am infuriated. Bang! I slump beside her on the bed, unable to speak. The pistol slipping out of my grip. She is screaming loud and wildly. I helplessly watch her, hot blood spurting on her. I had tried to shoot myself in the head, but the muzzle had slipped and the bullet has shattered my jaw. I feel completely numb. The ringing at my door is getting incessant. Someone calls my name and orders me to open the door. Slowly, my hearing and sight is failing, but I keep my eyes on Shilpa. I can still imagine her in that rain-soaked salwar kameez, rainwater streaming down her thick plaited hair, those huge earrings suspended like chandeliers. I am aware of people entering in the room. My papa is one among them. He is looking at me and crying inconsolably. I try to reach out my hand to him, but I'm unable. Shilpa is now with him. She, too, is sobbing inconsolably. Had she shown such an iota of love a few minutes ago? Slowly, the two begin to blur. Goodbye, my doll, I whisper once more. I hope you are mine in the next life. Now, they completely fade out into sheer blackness.
Hello, dearest, and you have come to the end of my story number 1, The Crazy Devdas. Of course, I'm Joseph Martin, the author of this story, and it has 2 climaxes, as you know. If you like the first climax or the second climax, do leave your comments in the comment box. And if you loved it, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Happy reading. Ciao for now.